it's a very pleasant task to welcome you to Cheltenham, to the start of the 2025 festival. Glorious conditions. I mean, it's been so dry recently, it's hardly a surprise that the outfield is more like a straw bale than a lawn, truthfully. But we are here, and delighted that Dan Whiting's alongside me for day one, which is the double header against Sussex. The women's double header starts at 12, which we'll have commentary on, and then the blast for the men, the game is at 4 o'clock, and it says something about the appeal of the festival that at 4 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon you can get almost a full house. There were only 100 tickets for sale yesterday, and I think they will have gone by the time the match starts later on. Umpires are on the way for the women's game. Sussex have won the toss. They can have a bat. Kylie White and Dean Daniels are our umpires. They're on their way, and Liv Daniels leads out the Gloucestershire side in their yellow and black. This is one of the iconic venues and vantage points, Dan, to watch cricket on the county circuit.
Yes, certainly is. There's something magical about Cheltenham. It is. Jack Russell said to me, I interviewed him here a couple of years ago, and he said to me it's one of the venues in world cricket. No, he might be biased, Jack, but it's one of the places that produces wonderful cricket. Gloucestershire have got a very good track record here, but the backdrop, the setting, just the unique atmosphere of Cheltenham makes it so special. Big warm welcome to all joining us from good old Sussex by the sea as well. A very warm welcome to you, and I hope you enjoy the coverage today from the heart of the Cotswolds.
Yeah, the college ground, first used by Gloucestershire in 1872, and had staged a women's ODI here in 2005, but Gloucestershire have not played here in the modern era of women's cricket. Western Storm have, but of course now it's down to the counties themselves rather than having the franchise identities. This is the first time that Gloucestershire have played here. So we're going to see Charlie Phillips open the bowling from the college lawn end. Just to say that camera-wise, at the moment, the behind the arm camera is only at the college lawn end, so you'll see the play from behind Charlie Phillips, but front on to the bowling from the chapel end of the ground, which, if you're familiar with Cheltenham, you'll know is a distinctive backdrop to the festival. In fact, there was the usual festival service was held this morning at 11 o'clock. And that is probably why, as much as anything else, there are quite a lot of people in the ground already.
For David Sid Lawrence, I believe there's a memorial service for him. The main funeral's tomorrow, isn't it? St Mary Redcliffe in Bristol, and I'm sure the place will be absolutely packed to the rafters to say farewell to a great servant of Gloucestershire cricket.
So Izzy Collis and Rachel King are opening the batting for Sussex. Collis is going to take strike, and here is Charlie Phillips. There are two Charlotte Phillipses in the Gloucestershire squad, so one of them is known as Charlie, just to make things easier for everybody. And she's got, at this point, only two fielders out. One is at long on and one is at deep mid wicket.
Well, I covered a game last night, Lancashire, and they had two Morrises and a Norris.
Oh.
Yes.
Commentator problems. So here is Charlie Phillips then to bowl her off spin, and it's clipped away by Collis for the first run up to long on. And just to give you an idea of the shape of the ground here at Cheltenham, particularly compared to the one at Bristol. At Bristol you have short straight boundaries and long boundaries square of the wicket. Here at Cheltenham, by and large, the view would be that the boundaries straighter are longer and the shorter boundaries are square of the wicket. So interesting to see how that actually works out. King, who's had some good scores this season, squeezes Charlie Phillips' second delivery out on the offside, and it's fielded at backward point by Meg Ahern, who can keep wicket but isn't keeping wicket today.
You can see already the pace of the outfield, can't you?
Phillips tossed up and almost have a chance of a stumping, which should have been taken by Katie Jones. on loan from Somerset, previously at the Western Storm, and she will have seen that as a chance gone in the first over to break the opening partnership.
Yeah, she's also wearing a Somerset helmet. Don't like that, do we, Ian?
Phillips in, and an attempted scoop around the corner by King doesn't get to its intended target. Yes, Meg Ahern kept wicket in the game I saw against Kent at Bristol earlier in the season, but say she's not keeping today. Phillips off about 4 paces in and swept by King. That'll go for 4. As Dan said, anything that beats the infield is going to race away, particularly down the slope towards the main scoreboard, which is on the Thirlstone Road side of the ground.
Yeah, Cheltenham also, it's quite unique. There's 2 squares on the ground. You've got the College Square and you've got the County Square. County Square is what they're playing on at the moment, but if you see just behind wicketkeeper Jones, there's the College Square.
Phillips in, and that's just played defensively but fairly straight out to Liv Daniels. So a tidy start from Charlie Phillips, just the 1 boundary in the first over, and Sussex, having won the toss, are 5 without loss, and Katie Jones has decided she's not going to need that helmet, and she's swapped that for a cap.
She's heard me.
She's heard you. Yeah.
But the College Square, once the ball hits those, it just races across the outfield, doesn't it? It's, you know, like having practice wickets. You used to get them at Headingley, didn't you, in the corner of the ground, or at Canterbury you get them, and once the ball hits those practice wickets, the ball just races away.
So B. Willis got a half century in that Kent game. She batted right through, opening the batting, and she's going to open the bowling here.
Yeah.
She's only bowled 5 overs in the competition so far, so lightly used as a bowler, but we do expect her to open the batting later.
Here she comes from the chapel end. Down the leg side. Not quite as quick as Bob Willis, but, you know.
No, and actually, just to go back to that Kent game, unusual to find somebody who batted all the way through in a T20. She was quite prepared to not exactly play the anchor, but play the stabilising role, if you like.
Yeah, Eve Jones did that for Lancashire. She was stumped with, I think, 3 balls to go last night. Here's Willis. Cut. Textbook shot. And Collis moves on to 5. Short and wide. And Collis punishes it.
Yeah, just looking at her numbers for the competition, she's got 4 scores in the 20s in her last 5 innings. So, you know, capable of getting getting Sussex away to a reasonable start.
Well bowled by Willis. Bent her back there, didn't like being cut for 4.
I'm surprised Dan hasn't spotted this. He's got the Collis and the King opening the batting.
Ah, wonderful. Wonderful.
He was quite a good player.
Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. Cut again. That's 4 more.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah.
It's not really hit really hard. It's just placed into the gap, and she's let the outfield do the work really there, because that does drop away, and you can see on the stream just how brown this outfield is. And in fact, I came up to the ground on Wednesday, and there was some light rain on and off in Cheltenham on Tuesday, and Harry, the Gloucestershire men's statistician, a real computer boffin in terms of his numbers on the men's team, said you should have seen it on Monday before the rain. It was even drier than this.
Yeah.
The rain actually made a bit of a difference.
That's a wide. Signalled there by umpire Dean Daniels. Another umpire is Kylie White.
Yeah, Katie Jones had to go quite a long way to her right to take that, which indicated that it was quite a long way outside the off stump. And for these girls who haven't played at Cheltenham before, there is a little bit of a slope on the square. Not much, but just enough to make a difference.
It's just chopped away down to third. They'll settle for one.
You're not talking about the Lord's slope here, but you're just talking about
a gradient, a small gradient.
A small gradient, that enough that if you were bowling on off, if you were trying to bowl a ball that was moving off the seam away from the right-hander, from the College Lawn end, the slope would help you with that.
Yeah, it's hardly the sort of gradient that Ian Randall chases cheese down a hill in this part of the world. Oh, that's been screamed by King. That wasn't a bad ball. She's absolutely nailed that. Collis King would be proud of that one.
That was crunched, wasn't it? That really did race away down towards the main public bar here at Cheltenham. There are hospitality marquees at the College Lawn end, and then the two main, what I call activity marquees on the far side of the ground. The Old Patesians, which is a very well-known local sports club.
That's the end of the over, an expensive one. 15 off the over. 20 without loss for the Sharks.
And the other one is one that I think is going to be a very important revenue generator for Gloucestershire during the festival. So Chris Coley, who ran the festival here for, I think I'm right in saying it was 28 years, has been brought back this year to put his input into it, and he has organised a series of events for that marquee, including a Cricket Society's Day and other events alongside the cricket, and that I think is just brings the festival flavour back to it. Charlie Phillips to continue bowl a second over from the College Lawn end, and there'll be another single here, picked up again by Izzy Collis, out to long on. It's a fair old throw from that out in the deep there.
Yeah, it's
the straight boundaries, we said, are longer than the square ones in the main.
Cheltenham, for those who aren't used to it, I'll come on to it after this ball.
Phillips past umpire White in, and that's nicked off a thick edge. That will run away towards the rope at the chapel end, and it will get there. And this is really, Charlie Phillips is so bowling her off spin, a little nick, and that ball has raced away really quickly past, obviously, Katie Jones, who would have loved to have snaffled the chance but couldn't do so. And four more to Sussex, who are batting, having won the toss here. In the third over, Phillips floats that up above the eye line, and that's driven straight down the ground, and it's just short, one bounce four. King going into an area where there's no risk, because there isn't a fielder back, as straight as that was hit. Within the width of the sight screens, Phillips has no cover. And King moves to 16. Now the sweep, that's going to be four more. It's well timed. And the boundary is starting to tick up now for Sussex. And they've spotted that the outfield is quick, and therefore it's all about placement more than power, Dan.
Yeah, really good start.
Interesting that Liv Daniels said at the toss that she would have also chosen to bowl, so in a sense both sides have got what they wanted out of this so far in terms of the decision for phase one of the game. And that's aerial again, that'll be four more. Two bounces this time, but that's gone away over the head of Daisy Feast, I think it is, away too wide, long off.
Rachel King looks like she's going to play shots. Izzy Collis looks like she's going to be sort of the solidity, the glue at the top of the Sussex order. In fact, Graham Greene could have written a book there, Brighton Rock.
Yeah, Rachel King plays her club cricket in Hampshire for Ropley, and she'll get four more there too. That's a lovely shot, just transferred the weight onto the back foot and crunched it away through the covers down in front of the members stand for 4 more. Yes, you see, came through the Hampshire Academy, plays her club cricket in Hampshire, but here she is giving Sussex a flying start here. After 3 overs, Charlie Phillips has bowled 2 and B. Willis has bowled 1, and they are 41 without loss after 3.
Yeah, what a start. What a start.
I did say to somebody on the way into the ground today, you know, at some of the bigger venues, the girls get to about 140. That's the kind of number that you feel is competitive. But here, on a smaller ground with a fast outfield,
yeah,
that might not be enough.
Also, I think what happens in women's cricket a lot of the time is then don't play on fresh decks. They've got a fresh deck here. The one I covered last night at Essex, it was the 3rd time it had been used. And you can go pace off on those. The ball just sticks in the wicket and it's hard to get away. Whereas on a fresh deck, the ball just comes on nicely, but we're going to have a change after just 1 over at the Chapel End. Alice Bird. That's well bowled. Collis just being watchful there, having a look. Digs out a Yorker.
Interesting that you talk about wickets, though. So far in the T20, there's been so much dry weather around. There've been some good batting surfaces. Gloucestershire's wicket takers, Alice Bird has 3 in 5 games only. Charlie Phillips and Liv Daniels have more.
Oh, that's well bowled. Collis just trying to manufacture something there and run it down. Ball a bit too close to her body to do that.
You've got a short 3rd man in, but I'm not sure I'd have that field in that position. Perhaps you want a more orthodox 3rd man with the field. It is. Oh,
gone!
Commentator's curse.
Ian Randall puts the short 3rd in, and she takes a catch. And Bird looks like she's pegging Sussex back a little bit here.
There I was suggesting that you probably want the orthodox 3rd man in, and straight away the wicket falls to break the partnership.
Collis King no more.
No.
Collis goes for 11, caught by Mega Hearn. Off the bowling of Alice Bird.
So
Nancy Harmon, who's coming in at number 3 for the Sharks.
Probably, you know, one of the more experienced batters in their lineup. Has played a bit for the Vipers, previously at Sussex. Obviously hails from the area originally, but has just had a bit more experience of the competition. I might come back to where these two teams sit in the overall tournament in a moment.
Here's Bird. Harmon just pushes that to mid-wicket to Melissa Story. As I said, umpire Dean Daniels officiating at the Chapel End, and at the College Lawn End doing the locomotion is Kylie White. Pushed into the covers, well fielded though. Good work. Extra cover. Is that Liv Daniels in there?
I think that is. I was looking to see where back. Yes, but Becca Halliday is at mid-on.
Here's Bird, 1 ball away from a wicket maiden. And she's going to get it, because again that one is punched off the back foot to Daniels, and you don't get many wicket maidens in a power play, Ian Randall.
No, and good introduction from Alice Bird. The first ball almost looked to be bear in mind what followed, almost looked to be a slower ball, and then she obviously got the wicket after that, and the pace was much more consistent and indeed faster after that opening delivery. Yes, in terms of the competition as a whole, Middlesex and Glamorgan quite a long way clear at the top. Sussex have 9 points from 6. Kent 6 points from 6. Gloucestershire 4 points from 6. A change though now. Charlie Phillips has come off. And we're going to see Liv Daniels.
Number 16 and captain, Liv Daniels.
Bowling from the College lawn end. So King on strike. Daniels trots in. Again, that's floated up, and there is an orthodox long on out in front of the hospitality marquees. They think about taking one for the throw, and there's going to be a chance to do so. There's a little bit of a fumble. A stop, yes, but not a clean take. And because the outfield is so dry, I think it's inevitable there are going to be a few bumps.
Yeah, King seems to be playing with a dominant bottom hand here.
Harmon waits. And that's clipped straight down the ground past Bird, and that will go all the way for 4. It was in the air for a while, but it was out of the reach of the fielder at mid-off. And Harmon underway with a straight boundary. And Dan made the point quite rightly that this is a college playing field in essence.
Give me this over Merchant Taylors any day.
Daniels in, down the leg side. Katie Jones tries to effect a stumping, but if she'd have done that earlier, that opening partnership would have been broken in the first over. But didn't take the ball cleanly on that occasion. Yeah, there is the county square that they're playing on during the festival, and the college square, which is the one towards the chapel that you will see when the bowling is from that end in particular.
That's well bowled.
There was a county game played on that square. I think it was, I want to say 2019 against Lancashire. And they had to play in Cheltenham in May. Here's Daniels in, almost a thick edge. A chase for Charlie Phillips down towards the boundary at the chapel end. The ball might beat her and the other pursuing fielder, and it just does. So 4 more to Sussex.
That boundary brings up the Sussex Sharks.
So 50 up for them in the 5th over, just with the loss of 1 wicket.
Ian, if we are bowling from the on the college square, do you mind if I take the chapel lawn, the college lawn end, please?
What, long boundary?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say? Daniels tosses that right up, and it forces King to play from the crease, and she just sends it back to Daniels, who fields off her own bowling. So the captain's introductions just saw, 10 off that over, and 51 for 1 off 5 are Sussex. Kiara Green, the captain, due in next. Then Molly Adams, who's on the Regional Academy programme, and Phoebe Wilkinson. That's the rest of the top 6, and Sussex will expect those half a dozen to contribute a lot of the runs. But quite rightly, Alice Bird's going to have the last over of the power play.
I'd have taken her off. Wicket mate. Here she comes. That's whipped into the leg side, and a misfield from Bea Willis. And the ball runs away for 4. Took a nasty bobble just before her. She's disappointed, but
looks very annoyed with herself.
Yeah, but it's not her fault. It's just the circumstances. You know, he's playing at an outground. It's so dry.
Come back to how dry it is after this ball.
Cut, but there's a fielder out in the deep. Got to get all your body behind it, haven't you, on this?
I had a photo in my phone of Cheltenham last year, which I actually put out on social media last night, and the whole of the outfield was the colour of the square.
Wow.
As we are today. It's just totally different. But we've had a very different summer.
Well, I drove back from Chelmsford last night. There was a field on fire. That's 4 runs. Willis can't cut that off. And Bird just straying onto the pads. King turning it into a full toss. And
yeah, she's top of Sussex's averages in this competition. Got 2 50s with a top score of 68 not out. You can see why at the moment.
Oh. King is the Queen of Sussex. 60 for 1. That could be 4 more. This outfield is rapid, and that runs away down towards the Sanford Road Hospital, is it?
Yeah, Sanford Road side. Thurlston Road is the side behind where we're commentating from. So as the cameras are to your left. Sanford Road side is the side of where the hospital is. So any broken fingers, you wouldn't have a much shorter journey to get some medical attention if necessary.
Slower ball. King waits for it. Plays it out into the deep, and it's well fielded. You might hear the odd siren of an ambulance, or as we call them in these parts, Ian Randall's taxi. It's good to be back. It's good to have you back, Ian.
I have to say I'm pleased to be here.
That's a pleasant shot. That could be 4 more. Willis in pursuit. That's really well fielded. Superb work from Willis. Atoning for an error earlier in the over. But what a power play from the Sharks. 67 for 1. I'll tell you what, judging by the outfield, the pace of the wicket, I think we could see 400 runs in the men's game this afternoon.
Oh, that's very possible. That's very possible. And we are expecting it.
That's both sides, not just one side.
Yeah. Expecting it to be played on the same pitch.
Yeah.
Because there are only 5 pitches here at Cheltenham.
Yeah. The festival here last opening day today. And then it's a 4-dayer versus Lancashire, 4-dayer versus Middlesex, Derbyshire and the Metro Bank, and there's other women's games here as well, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a women's game on Sunday.
That's right.
There is, I need to get full details of this, there is a club knockout final as well, I think, being played here. That's one of Chris Curry's ideas.
And you can get your tickets on www.glossccc.co.uk.
So
get them quickly.
Here's the end of the power play, and Katie Dolman is coming on. So some versatility now in terms of what Liv Daniels can do with the field. Katie Jones is standing up, and Dolman from the College Lawn end. Past umpire White, and that's cut away to the point where Phillips does the fielding, but they'll take one anyway. King 48 off 22. That's a very good strike rate. More than 200.
Yeah, 218.
Dolman, right arm over the wicket and pulled into the leg side by Harmon. It wasn't timed, but they'll still get a couple. That's Mega Hearn down there on the chase. And I'm sure the girls would appreciate the involvement and the proximity of the crowd today.
And a decent crowd as well. I reckon there's probably 700 or 800 in here already. I reckon, what's it hold, 5,000 here?
Yeah, that'll be a squeeze. Here's Dolman. Oh, Harmon tries to go for another punch through the offside. It's given us a wide.
That looks like a military aircraft going in ahead. Probably got Bryce Norton down the road one way, and then you've got Gloucester Airport the other way. Maybe it's not.
Harmon waits for Dolman. Calls for the single up to mid-off. Oh, Alice Bird waited for the ball to pop up towards her then, which it did. So she was right to wait, but as a result of that, the chance of the run out rather went.
Yeah, but I think on this outfield it's better to be safe, get something behind it.
King on 48. Dolman to her. Oh, she skied it. B. Willis, can she get underneath it? And she's taken the catch. She had the disappointment of the misfield earlier, but she's quite rightly celebrating with Katie Dolman. That's an important wicket because Rachel King was very much in overdrive there, and she's gone for 48. And Gloucestershire have their second Sussex wicket, and an important one just to try and check the momentum a bit.
Yeah, that's the best way of putting the brakes on is by taking wickets. But no, going back to the outfield, I think you've just got to get something behind it, and preferably not your teeth. Kiara Green, the Sussex skipper, makes her way out to the middle. 72 for 2 in the 7th. Bit of fat boy slim. Right, Ian Randall and I'm the fat boy and he's slim.
I probably wouldn't have recognised that. So the Sussex captain out in the middle. Kiara Green batting at number 4. 72 for 2 in the 7th is a pretty swift start. Crisply played away first ball, straight to point where Charlie Phillips does the fielding. So the field for Dolman, she's got a short third man, a backward point, a deep cover, a straightish extra cover and a mid-off on the offside, so a split field. Dolman again, it's paddled away just out of the reach of the umpire, and there's the example of just getting something behind it, which is what Mega Hearn did down there, and as a result they kept them down to a single. So a successful over for Dolman. Her first over costing 6, but it did include a wicket. 73 for 2 off 7, Sussex.
Yeah, Willis was actually off the pitch down in front of us there. I think that's no ball, isn't it? But it wasn't noticed. But you've got to be the other side of the rope when the ball is bowled.
Alice Birds to continue.
Cleve Hill in the background here, one of the unique references of beauty about this ground, the backdrop. It's just about in the Cotswolds here, isn't it?
Oh, just about.
Is it the heart of the Cotswolds?
I think, yeah, we would probably say it was the heart of. I do find it strange sometimes when people refer to bits of Wiltshire being in the Cotswolds.
Yeah, I think of Cotswolds sort of between here and Oxford on the A40. That's just into the pads, and Kiara Green will scramble a leg by. 74 for 2.
Yes, Burford would still be in the Cotswolds, but I'm not sure Whitney would be.
No. I had breakfast this morning at Stow-on-the-Wold.
Very much in.
Very much. The Cotswold sandstone. That's going to be a wide. Yeah. Dean Daniels stretching his wings for that bird delivery.
Tally of extras sometimes at the end of these matches can be important, but make a difference between the two sides.
Yeah, I agree. Discipline's important, whatever level of cricket you're playing. That's whipped. That's going to bisect the fielders. It does. Willis can't get there. And that's... Ooh, touch of the Vivian Richards there, just whipped.
Yes, Phillips and Willis. Willis is in front of where the players go into their dressing rooms here at Cheltenham, and Willis's story is at backward square, and that was absolutely between the two.
It's in the air, but that's going to be 4 more. Willis can't get there, and nor can Long On.
It's been all about placement for Sussex. They've just virtually nothing's hit a fielder so far. It's all gone into the gaps.
Yeah. It looks lightning, this outfield. That's well bowled by Bird.
Clever slower ball.
Yeah. Yeah, we talk about extras. We saw one of the things that a lot of people were talking about in the Test match, which England won this week by 22 runs. Not that there's been a lot of media attention about it at all, but India's extras that they gave away in the England innings. As that's pushed into point and they'll scramble a single. I think India gave away something like 68 extras over both innings. A lot of buys there from the substitute keeper, Dhruv Jurel. And in tight test matches like that, when there's only 22 runs between the two sides, they can be game changers. Oh, that's chipped. And again, you have to watch the spin. And there's always one on the arm to that long boundary down towards the Sanford roadside. 85 for 2 at the end of the 8th.
Just going back to that innings from Rachel King, 48 she scored, 11 boundaries in an innings of 48. That is, I don't think I've seen as high a proportion of boundaries as that on a card for a very, very long time. So Charlie Phillips, 2 overs for 26. B. Willis is 1 over, cost 15. Liv Daniels 1 over for 10. Katie Dolman 1 over, 1 for 6. Alice Bird's bowled 3 overs for 28. So she's only got 1 remaining. But Dolman, after had a wicket in the last over, she's going to continue. Harman on strike. Oh, works that away. That might be 4 more. It's a long chase and Ahern won't get there. 4 more down in front of the scoreboard.
It's so true, this wicket. If you're short, you can actually trust the bounce, can't you? And you can just pull off the stumps. If you're full, you get pumped down the ground. And the outfield offering maximum value for your shots.
Yeah, tiny margin for error really here. Much less so than some of the girls have had on other wickets during this season.
Well, as I said, a lot of the time they play on used wickets, and pace off is the way forward on those.
Dolman, past umpire White, has chopped away for a single out to B. Willis on the deep square cover boundary. 1 more to...
I think that's Daisy Feast backing up there without a number on her back.
Yes, she will bat at 3, we understand. Yeah, when these two sides met earlier in the competition, Sussex won batting first that day. Got 149. I suspect they'll be getting more than that here if they maintain the start. Jones asks about a stumping.
Not out.
Quick work though.
Yeah, it was quick work. We've got a great view here, side on. And her foot didn't move.
B. Willis doing some limbering up down in front of us. Well, she's been either told she's going to have another over or is hopeful of having another one. Captain Green can't at the moment find the right timing. That's a wide from Katie Dolman. I'm sure part of today, and indeed the tournament as a whole, is about how and when the girls are available. They're not professional, of course. That also given us a wide. So Dolman just struggling with a bit with the line here outside the off stump.
Yeah, I think she's nervous about straying onto the leg side. There's no fine leg. They've had to bring fine leg round to deep backwards square. So I think she's nervous about getting hit through the leg side.
That's short and it's pulled over where mid-on would be. There is a long on out there. And a fumble from Alice Bird, they've got the
Story, I think, isn't it? Yeah, Story's out there.
Melissa's out there.
She's normally a good fielder, Melissa Story. But
95 for 2, Sussex having won the toss. Dolman in, that's the same. Oh, it's the same shot, well fielded.
yeah, I don't think that was a catch. It was in the air for a while, but I think it was just short of Daisy Feast.
She's very much on the single there. Green waits again for Dolman outside the off stump, and another wide. So we're being extended by the additional deliveries.
Yeah, Daisy Feast from Weybridge down in Surrey. Well, that's where she was born. 19-year-old.
Dolman sprints in again. That's aerial, placed over the infield. Icebird dives, can't reach it, and that will run away for 4. It hasn't got a lot to get over the rope, but it does do so. And at the end of the over, one which was, as I say, extended by the number of wides, Sussex in a good position here, having won the toss, given a great start by Rachel King, who made 48 from 23 balls, and the 100 is up after 9 overs, 100 for 2.
Yeah, Sussex could be looking at 230, 240 here if they play it right. I don't want to sound like Bruce Forsyth, but if they play their cards right, they could be looking at a real imposing total. Good game. Good game.
Where did you find that notebook of yours with all the old lines in?
believe one of the Worcestershire players had a chat-up line when he was talking to a young lady and used the phrase "play your cards right" and was nicknamed Bruce Forsyth. Daniels back into the attack. That's well fielded by Melissa Story. Chance for a run out. Oh, she got everything behind that one though. It's good fielding. Down in front of the marquee.
If you are joining us for the first time on the stream, come back to a point after this ball from Daniels.
Olivia Daniels. Oh, that's well bowled. I think it's going to be 4 runs. No, it's not. Charlie Phillips in pursuit, drags it back just short of the rope. But well bowled by Olivia Daniels.
If you think, Melissa Story, I know that name. You'd know her from the radio. She does a lot of commentary on TMS on the women's matches, on the women's internationals. And in fact was at Old Trafford for the match with India last weekend.
She's got a lot on. The Gloucestershire duties, commentary. She's a lawyer as well. She's a busy lady. Trust me, if you want to make money, Melissa, stick to law. Daniel's coming around the wicket, and that's just fiddled around the corner by Green.
They just need to keep the board ticking here for the next 4 or 5 overs, Sussex, don't they? And then they can really launch it towards the end if they really need to.
Oh, that's in the air. That's a great catch. Daisy feasting on that one. And that is the end of Nancy Harmon.
We've seen 2 good catches already today. B. Willis had ground to make up for the one that she took earlier. And the risk with diving forward, as Daisy Feast did with that dismissal of Harmon, was when you hit the floor or hit the ground, does the ball bounce out? Not on that occasion.
Yeah, or sometimes when it drops just short of you, you can Keep the dentists of Cheltenham in business.
So 29 of 18 balls for Nancy Harmon, and Molly Adams will keep wicket later on. Has come in for Sussex at number 5. In fact, there are 2 players in this Sussex team, Lottie Curling, who we may not see bat, but probably see bowl later on. Both come from Seaford College, so I know that the college very proud of the fact that there are 2 girls in the same sort of age range that have both come out of that college and are now representing Sussex.
Molly Adams, the new batter at the crease. Daniels last ball the over. Adams goes back and Daniels finishes her second over. She's just gone for 16, which in the scheme of things isn't bad, but Sussex 106 for 3 at the halfway stage. The martlet, the mythical bird of Sussex, which can't fly apparently. It's flying high out here today. Molly Adams, daughter of Chris Adams, Sussex legend. Went to Derbyshire for a bit. I think he went to Surrey for a bit as well, didn't he? But Sussex is the county he's commonly linked with.
So
Scored a lot of runs there.
Oh, he did. Charlie Phillips to come back into the attack, opened the bowling from the College Lawn end in the power play, but now they're on a different field. Fires that in from around the wicket to Kiara Green. 10 from 10. Couldn't get that away. Still a split field, but 5 on the leg side now. She's bowling round the wicket, and that's a pleasant shot up towards mid-off. Good stop. Alice Bird making the stop, and they'll keep them down to a single. That beat her dive. That's going to go for 4 as well.
Oh, without doubt. It's great work there from Alice Bird.
Katie Jones still obviously standing up to the spin of Phillips, but awkward when she's bowling round the wicket. As a right-hander, you don't have a lot of sight of the flight of the ball. Here's Adams waiting. Plays that very textbook with the.
That was exactly like the old man.
That's
exactly like the old man. Do you know what? I think cricket is genetic. Right, I'll come on to it after this ball.
Yeah, you can just see, can't you? The coaching.
Last year,
Dad in the garden.
Last year I watched Rocky Flintoff play for Lancashire, set up exactly like Andrew, and I've also played against Jim Gatting. And again, he plays exactly like his, obviously not at the level that his dad played, but he still plays a good club level. But he's got that trademark whip off the legs that Mike used to have. I think genetics do come through in cricket.
Extra fielder on the offside now for Kiara Green, and she's tried to play it on the leg side to compensate for that. Down towards deep backward square. A stop, but again, not a clean take, so they've come back for 1 on the throw.
Yeah, you can't pick up. You've got to get something behind the ball on this. You can't just pick it up as you would on a county ground. You have to get something behind it.
Crowd stand filling up on the far side. Floated up by Phillips, and Green can pick up a single. To deep mid-wicket.
That's a tidy over though. Gloucestershire just pegging it back, just 11 off the last 2, which, considering the previous 9 had gone at, what, 11 and over?
Yeah, Green's only hit 1 boundary so far, so she's been just trying to rotate the strike more than anything else. And Liv Daniels is going to bowl another over from the College Chapel end. And there's the first of the sirens that Dan mentioned.
Yeah,
might punctuate the afternoon.
That's crunched, and short boundary here towards the pavilion. And anything a fraction short is pulled with a plum. Green there. That's better from Daniels. Floating that one up. That's well bowled as well. Dominic Goodman is going from Gloucestershire to Sussex, announced last week on a 3-year deal. Best of luck to Dominic on the south coast. Sussex fans, you've got a good one there. As that's one played out to mid-off.
And seeing as you've mentioned the Gloucestershire-Sussex link, I'll come back to an announcement by Gloucestershire this morning concerning an ex-Sussex player.
Again, Adams just being watchful against Daniels. Last ballie over. Adams just tickles this into the leg side and they'll pick up one. 117 for 3 at the end of the 12th. Who's that player then, Ian?
So Tom Smith has announced this morning that he is going to retire as a player at the end of the T20 competition. He's been at Gloucestershire since 2013, obviously part of the winning side that won the One Day Cup in 2015, that won the T20 last year. 301 wickets in all formats for Gloucestershire across that period, just over half of them in T20. He'll be 38 at the end of August, and you know, one of the most likeable people personally in cricket, and given his backstory, which people will know about. Here's a Phillips to bowl her last over from the college lawn end. That's clipped away down to backward square for a single. I think everybody will wish Tom well as he embarks on his coaching career, because he's already started that at Gloucestershire.
Yeah, he has. He'll be a fine coach, got a great cricket brain.
He will go into that full time. Clip straight and almost, well, it should have been really straight to mid-off. And Alice Bird has put down the first chance that's gone to ground for Gloucestershire in this innings. Would have wanted to have caught that, and hopefully that isn't too expensive a mistake from the team's point of view. It was going quite quickly, but it was straight to her, and I think she would have expected to have caught it. Phillips in her last over. Again, that's given quite a lot of flight. Adams will take a single out to deep mid-wicket.
The Nawab of Pataudi. Some say my commentary could send his glass eye to sleep.
Well, Daniels is trying to really slow down the Sussex scoring here.
That's drilled back to Daniels, and
Green's not finding it easy out there.
No. That's in the air, that should be out, and it is. Daniels deserves that. Halliday with the catch, and she's bowled pretty well, Liv Daniels. She's probably going to go for 25 off her 4, but that's her second wicket, and Green departs for 21. Caught by Becca Halliday at mid-off. And it's just getting frustrated.
I think she knew that if she either had to get on with it or allow somebody else to come in who maybe could play more aggressively than she was able to. So, you know, a useful contribution, but one that was soaking up too many deliveries possibly from Sussex's point of view. 21 off 22. When you consider how some of the others were going earlier, Harman's 29 came off only 18. And at the moment, Rachel King's innings looks like the one that might be the difference in the game. We haven't seen Gloucestershire bat, of course, but if you're scoring 48 off 23 with 11 fours, I don't know who in the Gloucestershire side could come up with that sort of strike rate.
Well, what you get here is pace off, and Gloucestershire have taken a few overs to find that out, but Sussex, by winning the toss and batting, have allowed themselves to have a look, and I wonder if they go pace off straight away when Gloucestershire bat, but all it takes is someone to get in.
Phoebe Wilkinson, the new batter, has been opening, but today batting at 6.
Daniels. Cut by Wilkinson, slight misfield from Bird at short third.
Three out on the leg side now for Liv Daniels.
Ooh, that's sort of slapped drive from Adams. Scissored across it a little bit. Oh, that's well bowled. Lovely flight. Daniels finishes her 4 overs with 2 for 23. And in the context of the game, that's more than respectable.
It's a good effort.
1, 2, 4 for 4 at the end of the 14th. At the end of the 9th, they were 100 for 2. Gloucestershire bouncing back here.
Yeah, just check the run rate.
Yep.
And a couple of wickets help, obviously.
Returning to ball number 78, Katie Dolman.
So Katie Dolman to return. So Phillips and Daniels have both bowled out. And they've only used 5 bowlers in all here. So I wonder if Gloucestershire are maybe going to just use the 5. P. Willis can still continue to warm up down below us. Dolman returns to the attack, and another wide. 2 overs, 1 for 20 at the start of this over. Got an important wicket. We're watching from side on the balcony, so we're at on the cover boundary really as Dolman comes in from our right hand side, the College Lawn end.
She's a good fielder, Feast.
She comes from Surrey originally, born in Weybridge. May not see her off breaks today, but she can bowl a little bit. But she's down to bat at 3, and she's on the single at short mid wicket now. And Wilkinson didn't know where that had gone. Chopped away. It's run fine on the leg side, and they've scampered through for 1 more to the Sussex total. Just a reminder that the men's match is at 4 o'clock. And we'll have coverage of that on the stream. Both teams still with a chance of qualifying, but only the winner will take that chance into tomorrow. Nice little scoop from Adams from Dolman as she went down the leg side, and it will race away down in front of the public bar for 4 runs. That scoop shot that Rishabh Pant played almost on the tumble earlier in the summer, that's been copied by a few, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think he's copying Ollie Price, actually. But Sussex can afford to lose this afternoon and still qualify, but it takes it out of their hands, doesn't it? So this afternoon's clash is crucial.
Dolman in, and Adams wanted one. I think the main call from Wilkinson might have been no initially. And they then saw there was a big space because the fielder at long on was very deep, Melissa Story. Bird had ground to make up, and therefore they could take the one anyway as she came across from mid-off.
Last delivery was a no ball, so the umpire has signalled a free hit.
So Dolman overstepping. So here's the free hit, signalled by Kylie White. And Adams tries to slam it down the ground till he goes to mid-off, and they'll just take one. Alice Bird does the fielding, so not too much damage from the no ball. Did you see, by the way, I don't know how true this is, somebody posted that Nathan Lyon had never bowled a no ball in first-class cricket.
Wow.
Dolman, that was short and chopped, very fine by Adams for 4. That will beat the chase of Charlie Phillips down towards the Chapel End boundary. And handy boundary for Sussex. Takes their score up in further in this 15th over.
You shouldn't bowl a no ball as an off spinner. You shouldn't bowl one. I've seen him bowl a wide though. There's the famous one, I think it was in Perth a few years ago, and the ball hit a crack and went miles down the leg side.
137 for 4. Adams has 15, and that's aerial from her, and that'll be 4 more. Again, another chase for Charlie Phillips, and that will be in vain too. That's gone down towards the, I think that's the players' marquee, players and friend and family marquee, away to our left. So Katie Dolman, 3 overs for 37, and Sussex 141 for 4 with 5 overs to go. I'll finish this about no balls and off spinners.
Go on.
So this shows my age a bit. I remember seeing a guy play for Essex who used to have both feet between the 2 lines when he bowled, and that was David Ackfield.
Yeah.
And I couldn't work out, in a sense, how or indeed why that would be the case, but his bowling stride was almost not a stride, it was almost a slightly sideways sort of effort, not a true stride in the absolute sense of the word, but he had his back foot in front of the front line and his front foot behind the front line.
Yeah, he was part of those crazy guys at Essex during that era. The biggest nutcase was Ray East, though. Just do his sawdust trick, didn't he, where he would pick up sawdust, tend to drop it in one ear and it would fall out the other.
141 for 4, 5 overs to go. B. Willis is back.
Yep, from the Chapel End. Short and thick outside edge. Story, I don't think, can collect cleanly down on the line. No, sorry, Ballis Bird actually.
Wickets fallen so far in this Sussex innings. Izzy Collis for 11, Rachel King for 48, Nancy Harmon 29, Kiara Green 21.
Willis, good Yorker, dug out well. And they'll scramble a single.
We did talk about extras earlier on. Only 10 extras in that total, so not a massive addition to the score off the bat. But there were lots of 4 byes in that England second innings, weren't there, in the Test match?
That's well bowled, a dot ball at this stage of the game. Yeah, I covered the England Lions against India A actually down at Canterbury, and
on a very flat pitch.
Very flat pitch. Tom Haynes at Sussex got 100 in that game, and Zaman Akhtar and Ajit Singh Dale from Gloucestershire acquitted themselves very well, bowling on what was pretty much a road. That's square driven. Feast is going to have a go. Oh, that's great work. Sorry, it's not Feast. Can't quite see who that is. It's a backward point. Feast is at extra cover. Yeah, and Dhruv Jurel in that game at Canterbury spilled 2 absolute regulation, sort of just feathers on the offside, into the breadbasket where he didn't have to move, and they just went in and went out. Here's Willis. That's punched into the offside. They're going to take on the arm, and they come back for 2. Good running from Wilkinson, going to the danger end.
I think it's quite right that you try and put pressure on the fielder when you get to this. In the 16th over, you've got to gamble.
I think on this outfield, you have to try and put pressure and try and instigate a misfield. But this is a good over from Willis. A 5 from it. Last ball. That's in the air. Is that going to be out? No. It's gone for 4 over the head of the fielder, who's misjudged that one. Somewhat. It's Ahern, isn't it, down there?
I think it is, but equally, I'm not even sure that she would have got there anyway. I think the ball was out to her right. It was too far for her to reach, but Sussex's 150 is up. They've got 4 overs to go. They've got Adams starting to play a bit more like her father at the moment. She's starting to get the greater aggression into her game. She's got 25. 4 to go. I wonder if Sussex would get to. They could get to 200. That would feel a big chase for Gloucestershire on this pitch. So, for the first time, I did say that I didn't think she'd have a bowl today, but Daisy Feast is going to bowl her off breaks from the college lawn end.
That's a great name, isn't it, Daisy Feast? Not quite as good as Courtney Ricketts, but great name.
I say off breaks, that looked like a leg break to me.
Yeah, it looked like a leggy to me.
And they're going to try and take 2. Now Wilkinson says 1 is enough. Well, the list I saw said off break, so whether she can bowl both, we'll see. But that was almost like a leg break off the wrong foot.
Got a touch of the Jack Taylor's about her. Bowls both.
So Wilkinson has given Adams the strike, and Gloucester are going to change the field. Liv Daniels is pushing cover back out onto the rope, bringing mid-off up. That's a full toss from Feast, which is placed into the leg side by Adams. She might want 2 here, and she'll get 2. Ready with the stop, but couldn't then get the throw away cleanly and quickly. Adams keeps the strike, which is what Sussex would want. We're in the 17th over, again floated up, and they'll want 2 to the same fielder, but this time Reddy gets in much more quickly and keeps them down to 1.
Yeah, looking forward to the game this afternoon between the men. Sussex, Gloucestershire beat them in the semi-final at Edgbaston last year.
Feast. That was very much a loopy full toss, and it's punched away down the ground by Wilkinson for 4. She waited for that. Feast has found it difficult at the moment just to pitch it where she'd want.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not much has been said about finals day last year, but Gloucestershire beat Sussex, and I think I can't remember what happened in the final. It
was a local derby, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're looking at why Gloucestershire have not done as well this season, might come back to that a little bit later. Feast with the ball down the leg side and signals are widening. Matt Taylor and David Payne, 61 wickets I think between them last season, and this season that tally is less than half that. So
yeah, 33 and 29.
Big difference. Wilkinson pulls another full toss from Feast out onto the leg side. Tumbling stop on the rope. They'll get 2.
Good work.
Got a good chase because that saved 2 runs. 161 for 4 in the 17th. Feast's spin around the wicket, continuing from the college lawn end. That's a better length to be bowling. It means they can only pick up a single. But it took her to partway through that over to find her range, really, Daisy Feast. And as a result, Sussex got 12 from it, 162 for 4. We mentioned about Tom Smith earlier on, so announcing his retirement as a player from the end of the T20. He won't be involved as a player in the One Day Cup. And if you missed it yesterday, 2 Gloucestershire players are off to the 100, 2 more off to the 100. Marchant Delonga going to Manchester to the Originals, and Ajit Singh Dale to Welsh Fire.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually there's not more. Having won the Vitality Blast last year, the men, I thought that the squad would be decimated. But it's an opportunity for a few of the youngsters, people like Archie Bailey, Aman Rao, Willis pushes that one wide, and Wilkinson leaves it alone.
Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about who might be available to bowl for Gloucestershire in that competition. Bearing in mind the injuries at the moment, and I wrote down Matt Taylor, Shaw, Akhtar, Rao, Bailey and Luke Charlesworth.
Yeah, it's another dot ball. Wilkinson's sword not being able to slay Willis.
So Tom Price obviously injured at the moment, Goodman injured. Marshall and Ajit have gone to the One Day Cup. David Payne doesn't play 50 over cricket. So
he's in the 100 anyway, isn't he?
He is, that's true.
Yeah.
So you know you're thinning down your bowling resources.
That's going to be a wide. Yeah, I think, as I said, it's an opportunity. Luke Charlesworth is back after a back injury. Aman Rao, he's been named he played in the T20 earlier in the season, didn't he? He's a tall, I think he's 6'6", isn't he?
He'd be taller than me.
And me. Willis. That's in the air, but into the gap, and Wilkinson is going to get 4 runs. Bottom hand coming into play there.
We haven't seen a 6 from Sussex so far, but .24 fours, is that? I'll just top that up again.
Oh, that one hits the pad and just dribbles out into the leg side.
25 boundaries, so exactly 100 runs in boundaries for Sussex.
Okay. King got 44 of those.
Yeah, that innings might be the one that really gives them the favourites tag at the halfway point.
Oh, that's got to be close. Hits on the full. Ball dribbles down to third. They got a mix up here. We've got a mix up. And Wilkinson is run out. She looked for the second. Adams sent her back. And there was a misfield. But the ball dribbles out to mid-wicket. And Liv Daniels showing her experience and gently underarming it back to Beer Willis. And Phoebe Wilkinson departs for 18. 19, sorry. There's one for the run she got there.
I did wonder whether Daniels might actually run to the stumps herself to avoid any issue with the throw, but she was confident enough. Jazz Wesley comes in at number 7.
Yeah, I've seen those go horribly wrong. You watch the European Super League at times. There have been some interesting misfields in that competition. There we go, it's on the screen. Run out, Bird, Daniels, Willis. Sounds like a firm of accountants, doesn't it?
3 players involved.
Here is Willis. Adams plays it into the covers, and Feast gets everything behind that. So, end of the 18th. 168 for 5. And I'm wondering if Sussex might be a little bit disappointed, perhaps, with what they potentially could have got.
I think they've still got a good score here. I think they would feel they ought to be able to defend. Where might they end up here?
Feast is going to get another one.
190. Feast is going to get. So
Yeah.
Feast is going to have another over.
The building, the sort of 60s monstrosity here behind the chapel is it the head office of Eagle Star?
Well, it was. Not anymore. Feast. Well, it might be called a no ball. That a very full toss, and Kylie White is going to call it as a no ball. I think, yes. Walks out to signal to the scorers by looking up towards the college balcony, and therefore a free hit.
Yep, so that building, when Jack Russell paints the ground, which he does every year here, doesn't he? He's a big fan of the Cheltenham Festival. He doesn't paint that building in. He calls it artistic license.
170 for 5, a free hit which is skied by Adams, and it's caught, but irrelevantly so, by Daisy Feast. So Adams will pick up 1. 171 for 5, and Wesley on strike for the first time. Feast scuttles in, and it's paddled again around the corner on a full pitch, but a legitimate one, and Ahern almost gave away a boundary then on the rope. Came in to get the ball and saw it bobble past her hands, had to turn, and she did get the ball in again, but it didn't go for 4, only a couple. Wesley underway. Feast in with a ball of better length, punched away by Wesley. You might want 2 here. Melissa Story with the throw to the bowler's end, and Adams would have been run out had that been taken cleanly. Didn't do so, and Adams stays. She's not on strike at the moment, which might be a good thing from a Gloucestershire point of view. Feast in a flatter ball, and Wesley will sprint down the other end for a leg by. Yes, haven't had too many of those today. 1 more to the total. In fact, only 2 leg byes before that one. 176 for 5. Feast in. Adams finds the gap once more. That was played with deliberate weight out on the offside. Melissa Story coming in from long off, and a good throw keeps them down to 1. Feast asks Willis to go out onto the boundary at deep cover. So still the split field, and Melissa Story comes up at mid-off. There's the gap behind her if Sussex want to try and play it there, but they don't. And on this occasion, Wesley will try and find the gap on the offside. There's a direct hit at the bowler's end, and Story following up tries a second attempt. They get 1 on the overthrow, or 1 for the rebound, so to speak. The ball wasn't dead, and Sussex get to 178, 179 for 5, having taken 2 off the last ball of Feast's over. 1 over to go, 179 for 5.
Yeah, Beer Willis is going to bowl it.
So, as you say, they had 100 off 2, and they've scored 79, sorry, 100 off 10. I get that right a minute. 100 off 9 and 79 off the next 10. So, I think it could have been a lot worse for Gloucestershire than it looks like being. I think you said 230 at one stage.
It was looking like 230, wasn't it? When it was 100 for 2 at the end of the 9th. You're thinking 230s on the cards here, but if they can get out with 185, I think they'll be pleased with that. That's in the air and dropped out in the deep by Prathana Reddy, who's been so good out there, and just misjudged that one.
And that
goes away for 4.
That would have been travelling quite quickly too, down the slope.
Yeah, Adams nailed that. Bowler! Adams misses it. Off pole, uprooted. Sorry, leg pole uprooted. And Adams departs for 34. Willis strikes.
Runs all the way down the order for Sussex today, though. That's where they've been steady behind Rachel King's express start. Everybody else has got into double figures, and in fact everybody else other than Wilkinson has got beyond 20, so it's been a good batting performance from them.
I think Willis deserves that, actually. She's come back pretty well. First couple were expensive. She got collared a little bit by King and Collis early on, and Harmon, but she's bounced back pretty well, and she's gone for 33 now with 4 balls to go.
Ava Lee is the new batter.
That's deliberately played off the face, and she'll get 1 down to third. Ava Lee, that's a football team in Essex, isn't it? Down near Thurrock.
Well, I think you might have suggested, I can't actually track this, whether Jasmine Wesley is daughter of Tom. I can't find out whether that is the case or not. We did establish that Molly Adams is Chris Adams' daughter. We might try and do that in the break. Actually,
it's played out to Feast at cover, and she didn't either. She's caught in between having a shy at the stumps and throwing one softly to Jones, and didn't really do one or the other.
Jones wasn't at the stumps when the throw was going to be taken. That was the issue.
Willis to Lee. That's well bowled. Dot balls at this stage of the innings are like gold dust. 1 ball to go for the Sharks to maximise their opportunity. Here we go. And Willis bowls a wide. It's not going to be the last ball.
So remind
B. Willis.
You did tell us last night that the game you did between Essex and Lancashire, what happened at the finish?
Lancashire needed 2 to win off the last ball, and Sophia Smale for Essex 3-1 down the leg side, which Lauren Winfield Hill, the Essex wicket keeper, couldn't quite gather, and they scampered through for 2 wides. That's played into the leg side. Sussex will finish on 187 for 6 off their 20 overs. Jazz Wesley, she finishes on 8 not out. Ava Lee is 2 not out. And well bowled, Bea Willis in the end.
1 for 37 from her 4
Yeah.
overs. I'll give you the full card in a minute, and then Dan and I will just sum up the Sussex innings. They won the toss and decided to bat. Collis caught a Hearn, bowled Bird 11. King caught Willis, bowled Dolman 48. That was a good innings. 11 fours in that from just 23 balls, and a good running catch too by B. Willis. Harmon caught by Feast off Daniels for 29. Green caught by Halliday off Daniels for 21. Adams bowled Willis 34, and Wilkinson run out 18. Wesley not out 8, Lee not out 2. There were 16 extras, 187 for 6. Charlie Phillips 4 overs for 37. B. Willis 4 overs, 1 for 37. Bird 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 28. Daniels 4 overs, 2 for 23, bowled really well. Dolman 3 overs, 1 for 37. Feast 2 overs for 22. Daniels pace off, and that may be, as you said, the key for Sussex. They have Kiara Green, Nancy Harmon, Izzy Collis in particular can all bowl spin. So interesting to see how many overs they share between those, and they've got a good total, I think, there, and that will, based on what we've seen from Gloucestershire, who can accumulate rather than really attack big scores, that on this ground will need some very good placement, as we saw from King earlier on, to get maximum value from the shots in the power play.
Yep, find out, see how they go. We'll be back in about 8 or 9 minutes.
We hope you enjoyed your day with us at the Towergate Cheltenham Cricket Festival. During the interval between innings, why not enjoy something from our fantastic range of food and drink across the ground? Something for everyone today. On the Sanford roadside, you'll find everything from Aperol Spritz and craft beer to gourmet burgers, Greek food, Indian street food, fresh pizza, fish and chips, donuts, and ice cream. Whether you're after a quick pit stop or a full-on feast, it's all right where you need it. Over on the chapel side, the main public bar will be open throughout the day alongside coffee, cakes and cream teas.
Ready spattered everywhere. Ready, Jones, I think Ready spattered everywhere in the top 5.
Jack's Coffee Shack are here as well today. Great to see them. And with 2 ice cream vans on site and plenty of local flavour throughout, you won't go hungry. Please note the festival is a cashless venue, so
Sorry,
It's a deeper batting lineup than they've had, but still going to score a lot
and we've
quicker
got
than we
youngsters
will.
with you today. The activation zone is in full swing. It's next to the Chapel Gate entrance. Please head over to our inflatable nest, practice your cricket skills and enjoy interactive coaching.
call on the Friday night. We were meant to be going away on the Tuesday, so there's just no way that was happening. So we deferred that, and the dates they offered us were the week of the Middlesex match. So the Northants game rather. So I couldn't say no, I'm not going to go. Well, our usual hotel can't take us, so we're going to a very nice B&B that we've been to before. I think it's too many for them. I think we won't get on it, so I'll be very surprised.
Please welcome back match umpires Kylie White and Dean Daniels.
Are you doing this game? Are you doing this? No. I thought you weren't hurrying back to your chair. Here at Cheltenham, umpires Dean Daniels and Kylie White making their way back out to the middle. Full day of play here on the first day of the festival 2025 with a double header in the T20. Gloucestershire set 188 to win, and they come back here again on Sunday afternoon for a match against Middlesex. 2:30 start on Sunday. Second match of the T20 here at the festival. And just a reminder about those couple of news lines that you may not have seen over the last 24 hours. Marchant de Lange and Ajit Singh Dale called up or selected for the 100. Ajit at the Welsh Fire and Marchant at the Manchester Originals. And this morning, Tom Smith announcing his retirement from playing at the end of the T20. So in effect, from the end of tomorrow, after the match against Somerset. He'll be 38 at the end of August. He's been with Gloucestershire for more than 12 years. Has a winner's medal, of course, from the One Day Cup final and the T20 final. And around his time at the club, sadly the loss of his wife Laura as well, which was so public in a way, and which he dealt with so much humility. So Sussex out in their blue and black, and Becca Halliday and Daisy Feast are opening for Gloucestershire. That wasn't the batting order I was given. I was assured that Bea Willis was going to be opening, but obviously I suspect she will therefore bat at 3 as a result. But they need to have a good start here, Gloucestershire, no question. And Lottie Curling is going to open the bowling for Sussex from the College Chapel end. And I suspect, Dan, even more so than during the first innings, people will start filtering in for the 4 o'clock game during this Gloucestershire innings.
Yeah, they certainly will. It's already building up. I reckon there's over 1,000 in this ground already. And I think it will be probably quadruple that. It's Curling as Feast goes onto the back foot and pushes that into the offside, and Gloucestershire's account is underway.
Molly Adams very tall for a wicketkeeper.
Yes, she is, yeah. Yeah, although I've just had a chat with the Sussex men's wicketkeeper, John Simpson, downstairs, who's also 6 foot tall. And probably the best wicketkeeper of his generation. Halliday tries to cut. The ball was probably too full to cut.
I mean, he has been, I don't want you to say this, would you say his career has been revitalised by the move to Hove?
Yeah, and what a signing for Sussex. I was at a drink with him last year at the Cricketers Pub, which is on the edge of Hove. as you go in the entrance. Oh, big drive from Halliday. And we were just there having a beer, and all the Sussex fans were coming up. One said, "You're our best ever signing," to him. And I was surprised he wasn't one of Wisden's 5 cricketers of the year last year. I got over 1,000 runs, captain Sussex to promotion. That's driven out to deep cover for a single. But yeah, I think what Sussex have done very well, they've got their own young talent. You know, the good youngsters there, people like Henry Crocombe, James Coles, Harrison Ward. But then they've also signed some wonderful players as well, John Simpson being one of them. Driven pleasantly by Feast out into the covers. That's the end of the first over. 4 without loss. And, sorry, 3 without loss. And, yeah, I think, you know, the likes of Jaden Seals, another one, Daniel Hughes. Sorry, it's not even over yet. That's why I'm getting all confused. You'd think by my age, Ian, I might have learnt to count to 6, but, you know.
And you umpire it on Saturday.
I haven't got my clicker with me.
Oh.
Thank God that's a dot ball, because I've written the score down in my book already. 3 without loss, and that is the end of the first over.
A reminder to watch the game at
But
full times.
it's been a good move for Sussex to, once Paul Farbrace worked out what he had, what he wanted, he's knitted that side together really well, and it does have people at the at opposite ends of their careers, as you say. So,
A few years ago, Sussex were in the doldrums. They were a kindergarten, weren't they? And those young players have got 3-4 years more experience, and the recruitment, you can see why they've gone from the bottom of Division 2 to 3rd in Division 1 in the county championship. They reached finals day last year, and they're a county on the up.
Kiara Green's going to bowl the first over from the college lawn end. Fired in. Feast tries to paddle that round the corner, not cleanly. Lottie Curling does the fielding. 2 fielders out again are at long on a mid wicket, short from Green down the leg side. That's a wide. Ronnie Edmonds can't take that cleanly.
Kylie just getting the signal back from the scorers. They should be so lucky.
Green almost walks in and then tries to fire that, and she's got an edge. And Daisy Feast has to go. She looks skywards. Green.
Good catch by Adams.
The approach to the wicket isn't particularly brisk, but then it's all in the shoulder, and Feast pushed at that, and she has to go. And we're going to see Prathana Reddy come in fact, at number 3. Feast has to depart.
New batter for Gloucestershire, sponsored by Clifton Coffee Roasters, number 31, Prathana Reddy.
Is that your private helicopter going overhead, Ian?
Now it'll land at the racecourse down. I asked it to do that.
Yeah.
So Reddy is
Bit early.
Prathana Reddy is Gloucestershire's top scorer in this competition this season. She doesn't have a 50, but she does have 136 runs at 22. So a steady contributor. What can she do here? Works the first ball. She faces into the leg side. Wesley
Ooh.
dived over the ball there.
Yes. You have to be careful these days with that sort of stuff regarding fake fielding.
She'll just get one. Becca Halliday with 3 saving 1 inside the circle on the offside, so it beats the field there. It should be 4, and she can't beat the field. She's punched it straight to Hannah Buckle, a straightish extra cover.
Yeah, she's missed out there.
They're all in quite close, those three as well. Again, round the wicket from Kiara Green. Pulled into the leg side this time by Hull. He'll only get one.
Sussex fielding already looks a lot better than Gloucestershire's, doesn't it?
I was just going to say that actually what had struck me in the first couple of overs was there hadn't been much that was loose from the bowlers. Green again. Ready, lofts a catch straight away. First over that she'd faced, just got a single off the first ball, and she's lofted a catch straight to Collis at short cover. And Prathana Reddy goes for a single, and it's 6 for 2. The captain now has a wicket as well.
Yeah, you don't win many games from this position. It has to be said. And that was a soft dismissal.
So Sussex very much in the driving seat here. A good score on the board, and two overs gone and 2 wickets already taken. Green with a tremendous first over. 2 for 3 in her opening over at the start of this Gloucestershire chase. 188 is the target.
Yep, good start by Green. And into the attack from the Chapel End is Talitha Stanley. On the money straight away, as Halliday has to be a little bit conservative here. Loss of those 2 wickets in that over means Gloucestershire can't go full throttle in the power play. Remember, Sussex finished the power play on 67 for 1. She tries pulling, but the ball dribbles out to Harmon, who looks like she's modelled her colouring on Miles Hammond from Gloucestershire.
I think that certain photographs I looked at, you look at trying to get an idea of what some of the girls look like you may not have seen before. You're looking for head and shoulder shots. Not all the sites are desperately
That's
good on that.
Oh, that's Q-end there from Willis' first ball. Oh, in mouth moment as the ball lands between 3 fielders.
And all the shots I saw of Nancy Harmon, the hair wasn't blonde.
Halliday drives nicely out to mid-off. Oh, she was miles out there with a direct hit.
Kiara Green in the captain's position there at mid-off.
Yeah.
And as you say, Bagaldi would have been well short.
Stanley. That's missed out as Willis can only hit this one out to Phoebe Wilkinson at mid-on.
So it felt in the power play as if every Sussex shot was finding a gap. At the moment, Gloucestershire hitting the fielders all the time.
Yeah. Scoreboard pressure. That's gone up in the air. She's going to get away with it. As the ball goes out to deep cover. So 10 for 2 at the end of the third. At this stage, Sussex were 41 without loss. And Gloucestershire up against it somewhat, Ian.
Yeah, Katie Jones still to come in, probably. And if you looked at, she's on loan from Somerset, used to play at the Storm last year. If you were to look at the batting lineup, she would probably be as good as any of the others in the top 4. So she'd be due in next. But what will she have to work from is the answer. Ava Lee is going to bowl the next over from the College Lawn end. Off spin, and again, what's been immediately noticeable from the Sussex bowlers is that they have not really bowled anything badly loose so far. Very similar field. And even
nice hands from Adams here.
Even if there's no spin there, that is directionally good with good bounce from Lee off the first 2.
Yeah.
And we can judge the bounce really quite well from our view, side on. Lee once more, close to the stumps. Pitched up, but that one actually is a bit wider, and it's called a wide. As Adams standing up, peering through the grill of the helmet. Lee with this high leap from her last delivery. Bowling very full.
It's too full. Willis is trying to go on the back foot and manufacture something here, but it's too far up, and Ava Lee is just bowling that nagging length. It's not short and it's not too full.
B. Willis waits once more and uses her feet this time, punches it down the ground straight to Wilkinson. She tries to try at the bowler's end, but Willis is home. Neither of these two sides really have matched Middlesex or Glamorgan so far. They are a long way clear at the top of this pool. Lee again to Halliday, paddles that away on the leg side. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just tried to find the gap, which is where Gloucestershire weren't able to really do so in this innings. So far, just picked up a single, 13 for 2. Lee short, and Willis again tries to cut that with Adams. Is, as Dan said, proving a
lovely hands.
Really competent keeper at the moment. And after 4 overs, Gloucestershire 13 for 2, and runs coming at nowhere near the rate that they would need at the moment. Lottie Curling's going to come back and bowl another over from the Chapel end. Sussex coached by Alexia Walker. Named a squad at the start of the season and then has been supplemented a little bit, as indeed some the other sides have, by loans from other teams depending on player availability.
Curling. That's a lovely shot. Becca Halliday playing a textbook off drive.
Well, we saw one of those from Rachel King earlier on that really looked as if it was going to be the springboard for Sussex, and Halliday repeating the dose there, and that's what it needs to be for Gloucestershire.
And it's going to be a wide. Dean Daniels stretches his arms.
That's the thing about the crowd here at Cheltenham. They will appreciate good shots and good play, whether it's from the Gloucestershire side or the opposition.
Yeah. 4 more. Dismissive from Halliday. Yeah, I mean, obviously they prefer it from Gloucestershire, but they appreciate good cricket here, don't they?
Yeah, she's only had one game in the tournament, Becca Halliday, before today. Didn't get too far with the bat on that occasion, but needs to try and put bat to ball here to give Gloucestershire some sort of a chance.
That's well bowled by Curling. Just cramping Halliday up for room a little.
Does look as if the shots are what I call textbook shots. Almost looks as if she's making as much as she can of herself in a very orthodox kind of way.
Yeah.
With the bat.
Oh, she's going to get runs here. Thick outside edge. She's going to get 2 as she scrambles back for a second. Slight misfield down at third. There from Anna Buckle, I think that is down there.
Yes, we'll see her bowl, I'm sure, shortly.
It's not an easy place to field though. Halliday.
How high the elbow was for that shot.
Yeah.
And we saw that a little bit with Molly Adams earlier on.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, delivery after delivery after delivery in the nets, isn't it?
Yeah, we had Gloucestershire chair Peter Matthews on air a few weeks ago, who played a lot of cricket with you, Ian. That's well bowled. Dot ball, 24 for 2 at the end of the 5th. He'd played a lot of cricket with you over the years. He described you as a rather agricultural number 11. Is this true?
He wouldn't be wrong.
I thought you were a dour number 11. I thought you were, you know, potting it out for a draw back then. But you were...
No, they used to say that one ball for me was generally more than enough.
Yeah, but he said generally you were there for a good time, not for a long time.
I was never there.
Is there any truth in this scurrilous rumour?
I think there were only 2 occasions when I was there for a long time. Lee at 24 for 2 to start the new over from the College lawn end, and they'll pick up just 1. Willis pulls that away to deep mid-wicket.
Sussex running better than Gloucestershire's as well, isn't it? They were turning those slight misfields into 2s.
Lee's going to change her angle here to Halliday. She's going to come around the wicket. Last over of the power play. Al Halliday's popped that into the gap at Cow Corner. She's going to get 4. It's better placement.
That wasn't textbook high elbow, but it's effective.
First time we've seen her try to do that. That booming drive down the ground. That was a different sort of shot. Open Championship this week. Fairways that would be this hard, the ball could bounce anywhere, and in a sense that was just a little gentle 7-iron into the outfield, and you let the outfield do the rest and let the ball run away. Halliday, that was placed, but straight to the fielder.
It's at Portrush in Northern Ireland though, so you know it'll rain there.
It doesn't rain here. There's a little bit of very gentle rain in around Cheltenham this morning, but forecast was for it to peel away. Halliday straight down the ground. That's a straighter shot. Needs a kind bounce on the rope, and Anna Buckle gets it, and therefore it's only 1.
I came through some quite heavy stuff actually around Oxford, or just probably between High Wycombe and Oxford on the M40, around sort of Wormsley. Beautiful cricket ground there.
30 for 2, last over of the power play. Lee back over the wicket. Oh, and Willis has caught, that has been caught behind. I think she tried to play it out through the offside, didn't look at the umpire. She knew that she'd got the nick. It's a second catch from Molly Adams, and it's 30 for 3. And Sussex absolutely in the pound seats at the moment. Willis goes for 4, and that should signal Katie Jones's arrival. It does, and with her introduction, she and Halliday would represent Gloucestershire's best chance of a respectful finish here.
Yeah, coming out, Somerset helmet.
For Gloucestershire, Katie Jones.
Surely the club could find her a Gloucestershire helmet.
Well, they're very precise, aren't you? You have, they have helmets fitted for each individual player. So I don't know when Jones was actually agreed to be signed, of course. If it was done relatively late, then that may not have been possible. But a wicket for Ava Lee, and all 3 of the wickets have fallen now to bowling from the College lawn end.
Yeah.
They'll know this is the this potentially is the big wicket. Lee then to Katie Jones. And that's the last ball of the power play. Jones got a bit tucked up by that. Lee has taken 1 for 9 in 2 overs. Green 2 for 3 in her over from that end.
Gloucestershire 30 for 3 after 6 overs. That comes
And
the power play sponsored by Castle
at this point, Sussex were 67 for 1 and motoring along.
Yeah.
So they absolutely have control of the game at the moment.
Yeah, it's huge the difference between the two sides. You can see it. Sussex have been better with the ball, better running, better fielding, and better batting. Generally, when that happens, you tend to win games of cricket.
Talitha Stanley back from the College Chapel end.
That's a nice shot from Halliday.
You shouldn't be able to play a shot like that off the back foot, should you, really? You think where it went?
I think
so straight.
Yeah, I think she got a little bit early on the cut shot, but placed it beautifully between mid-off and extra cover.
Sussex has gone very cautious on the leg side here. They've got a deep square, a deep mid-wicket and a long on, and nobody in on the single.
Stanley. That's slower ball, and Halliday just has to be watchful.
Sussex 187 for 6 earlier today. Rachel King top scoring with 48.
Heaved into the leg side by Halliday, and Harmon throws one in and apologises to, I don't know if it's to Georgia Adams or to the batter Katie Jones, who has to duck. Jones still on a duck.
Is Georgia Adams the boxer?
Sorry.
That is
Played
right, isn't
nicely.
it? Georgia Adams is the
Think
boxer,
so.
isn't she? Yeah, I'm sure that's right. Chris, your girl is here today, and she's keeping wicket.
Yes, Molly Adams. No, it's Nicola Adams is the boxer.
Oh, Nicola Adams. Yeah.
Yeah. Nicely played by Jones, turns it into square leg where Rachel King is lurking.
Georgia Adams is at Hampshire, isn't she? That's who you're thinking of.
Yes, I am. And bowler. Halliday tries to get funky, working one through the leg side, and as one of her poles pegged back, and she departs for 25, 36 for 4, and I think it's the end is nigh. Up on the balcony we've got this afternoon's match referee Mike Smith alongside us, and Tim L. Mills has just been up here having a chat with him. A bit early for a visit to the match referee before a game. I've never heard of that, but Stanley deserved that though.
I wonder whether that was the slow ball again. Certainly looked it from side on.
Possibly. Melissa Story. Well, it'd certainly be some story if Gloucestershire can win this from here.
Well, Halliday 25 out of 36. Nobody else has found the Sussex bowling easy to get away at all.
The Union flag flying high from the turret.
Here's the Sussex captain, Kiara Green, back into the attack again from the college lawn end. And again fires that. They're almost little darts, these, almost Graham van Buren type darts from right arm around the wicket.
What is that building? Is that part of the school there, college?
Jones takes a single into the leg side. They might want 2 here. Melissa Story says no.
Wisely.
All the buildings that we can see alongside, you want to do the one alongside the chapel? Yes,
The one with the flag flying.
yes, that is part of the college. Yes, the Bath Road is beyond that building. Green over the wicket to Melissa Story, so change of angle. Green, blonde hair flopping behind her, it's tied back. And Story will get a single out to deep mid wicket. So through the power play now, so Sussex can be a bit more flexible with the field. Not that they've gone ultra defensive really, they were a little bit for Halliday. But with 2 newish batters in, Green still looking to attack. Great, that's a clever shot from Jones. First reverse sweep we've seen. Chase for Averley down towards the 3rd man boundary on the comeback for a couple. We haven't seen a great deal that's been unorthodox today. That's been the first real surprise use of that shot. Jones batting deep in her crease, and she's pulled that out into the deep square. Oh, and St John's has gone down. Oh, it looked as if it had been taken comfortably. A little bit of a juggle out on the rope. Jazz Wesley's out there, and she spilled it. So a survival of a chance for Katie Jones, and it's 41-4-4 Gloucestershire after 8.
Yeah, look how Harmon though runs 30-40 yards. Just give her a pat on the back, just give her a high five, and you can see this Sussex Sharks women's side. There's a bit of unity about it and togetherness, and good leadership qualities from Harmon there.
We're going to see Anna Buckle for the first time from the college chapel end. Just in the 5 minutes or so we had between innings in this match, Ed Seaborn just said that, interesting that, I know there will only been 40 overs on it, but if the men's game is played on the same pitch later on, which we are expecting, will the fact that it's a slightly used pitch impact on the potential totals?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think Only, what, 40 overs on it? I think often you see pitches get actually better. I'll come on to it after this ball from Buckle. Lovely shot from Jones. Four runs straight down the ground using her feet.
I think Molly Adams is going to change the headgear. I think she's going to stand up now, having just seen that perhaps Jones might be keen to bat outside her crease, or use her feet, or maybe both. So she's going to stand up, put the helmet on.
Nice shot again from Jones.
There's constant chatter in the outfield from Sussex.
Yeah, there is.
Constant encouragement.
Yeah, it's good. Story just nurdles this one to mid-on and scampers through for a single. The throw hits Story. Gloucestershire rebuilding here, Ian. Is it Mel and Mrs. Jones? They got a thing going on.
No, me and Mrs. Jones.
Mel and Mrs. Jones.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've stuck an L on the end.
Yeah.
People do that in the West Country, don't they? Nice shot from Jones. That could be four. Oh, it's great work out in the deep. Is that Harmon again? Oh, is there a buzzer? Is there a buzzer? Yeah, they're going to run a buzzer. No, that's Harmon there. Oh, it could be more buzzers. Oh, it's the 50 up anyway. That's the Gloucestershire 50. 50 for 4 in the 9th. It's buzzer central, Ian.
I'd never used anybody. I haven't ever heard anybody use that phrase for extras.
Never.
No.
4 buzzers.
Yeah, until a year or two back.
Was it me who first did it?
It wasn't you.
Oh, okay. Driven nicely by Story and more misfields. Good pressure from these two. Just counter-attacking here. And sometimes you put sides under pressure and strange things start to happen, don't they?
So 10 off this over already.
Jones chips this one out. One bounce. Should be a Port Rush with the 7-iron in her hand there. Anyway, 52 for 4, 11 off the over. At this stage, Sussex were 100 for 2, but Gloucestershire need what? 136 off 11. Still a big ask, isn't it?
Even on a small ground, it looks a lot.
12.4 and over. Once it's over 2 a ball, it's tough.
So Ava Lee coming back. So for Sussex at the moment, Lottie Curling 2 overs for 14. Green 2 overs 2 for 8. Stanley 2 overs 1 for 10. Lee 2 overs 1 for 9. Buckle 1 over for 11. So nothing desperately expensive.
Tell you what, I like the look of Jones.
So here is Ava Lee with her off spin. And Jones can easily find a single there on the leg side. Nudged it into the gap. They'll try and run 2, and it's not going to make it. Katie Jones is run out. She had to gamble on getting back. The throw was to the danger end. She was running to the danger end. And a clean take from Molly Adams means that Jones has to keep walking. She's going to the pavilion, and Gloucestershire are 53 for 5. That was a poor call from her, I think.
Yeah, it was. I mean, she's just perished in the pursuit of quick runs, though. You have to take risks. When you require over 2 a ball, you have to take those risks. But Harmon's been outstanding in the deep. And another really good throw in from mid-wicket into the gloves of Adams, who completes the simple task of removing the bails.
I think Wesley looked to be the ones who was getting the congratulations for the return, so I think it was her out on the boundary, but Harmon given the credit on the board.
No, I think it was because Wesley dropped Jones a few balls ago, so they're sort of saying, don't worry about it.
No damage done. So 53 for 5, and Mega Hearn's come out at number 7. Lee to a Hearn, who pushes forward and can't lay bat on it. The noticeable thing has been the bounce.
Yeah.
From Ava Lee. Bowls with a high arm, and that's been the most troublesome thing. And here, a thick edge is going to have to be stopped by Phoebe Wilkinson, and it can't be.
It's so quick, isn't it?
It's run away for 4 off the faintest of edges from a Hearn, so she's underway.
But do you remember when we spoke to Jack Russell here a couple of years ago? I'll come on to it after this ball.
Lee in, and her accuracy of bowling so little down the leg side has been very noticeable.
And Jack said, you know, it's nice you can work higher up as a wicket keeper here at Cheltenham.
Lee wants more, and again, the line has been really good from her. That's been the even side on.
Tell you what, Adams has been outstanding behind the stumps.
Lee, and the same shot again off an edge, but she'll get a single this time. But the only runs in that over really weren't off genuine attacking shots, and Lee has bowled really tidily. She's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 14, and Gloucestershire, in chasing 188, are 57 for 5 after 10 overs. Two batters having a chat in the middle. I mean, at the moment, Becca Haddowday is really the only player who's put back to ball with any venom. She made 25 off 23. Jones was just starting to unfurl a few shots. But
Jazz Wesley is coming in from the college end.
that run out, as Sussex might think that run out's opened the door a little bit. Yes, Liv Daniels to come, but they probably think that they can mix the bowling up here if they wish to in these remaining 10 overs. Here's Wesley into the attack.
Flighted, and Hearn drives this out to deep cover.
Very pleasant afternoon for watching cricket.
Oh, gorgeous.
Not just because of the setting, but also because the temperature is so much more comfortable.
It's nicely driven by Story. They're not going to take on Harmon again, though.
Some people like the stifling heat, I must confess. It was.
Do you remember we were here in 2022 and they finished the day early?
4:30?
They finished at 4:30 for the safety of the players and spectators. Oh, she's trying to work one there, Hearn. Yeah, we had to finish at 4:30. I think it touched 39 degrees here that day, didn't it?
Unfortunately, we are on the shaded side of the ground from our commentary position on the balcony.
Well bowled by Jazz Wesley. Turned by Ahern out to Rachel King, who gave Sussex such a blistering start here at the college. So many good cricketers have trod this turf over the years. The Story pulls this, but again King does the fielding, and it will just be one. Ending over 62 for 5. Yeah, we've had the fortune here to, well, we worked with the late great Mike Proctor here, didn't we, a few years ago, and we've interviewed people like Courtney Walsh, Jack Russell, cricketing royalty. Ashley Giles we worked with here as well, didn't we, a few years back?
King of Spain.
The King of Spain, he's cricketing royalty.
If you don't know the story behind that, there was some mugs made that was meant to say the King of Spin.
Yep.
But they didn't.
500 of them. Came back with the King of Spain for his testimonial year.
62 for 5 off 11. And this is Lee's last over. And that she's hit aerially there. And that will pick the gap. I think it was great stop.
That's outstanding.
And then she's put her foot on the rope. The fielder out there at wide long on has put her foot on the rope and she's stopped. So,
and sportingly admits it as well.
Well done for admitting that that was actually 4. And they didn't have to just run a couple. 4 to Melissa Story. There might be Buckle out there. She was certainly out the fielding out there in the power play. Story off the back foot. Just plays that back up the pitch.
Story looks a decent player, actually. She's technically correct.
Lee over the wicket. Story uses her feet once more. Tries to pull that into the gap. And that has gone for 4. That's beaten the 2 fielders. Where Sussex were bisecting fielders almost at will, it seemed, in the first innings of this match, Gloucestershire found that much more difficult. But that one did beat the fielder at deep square, and the one had a straight mid-wicket on the fence. Story waits once more, and there's appeal for a catch at the wicket from Adams, but umpire White not interested. So Lee's figures hardly wrecked by 2 boundaries in this over, but certainly dented somewhat compared to what they were. Stormy goes back, but finds it hard to read the bounce. If you saw Ava Lee in the nets, I think it would be the bounce that would be the most striking thing about what she's extracted from this pitch. Story clips that towards the fielder at long on, who doesn't go towards the ball, wary of the bounce. And as a result, maybe gave up the chance of a catch, but she saved 3 runs because she's taken it on the bounce and kept Story just to a single.
Yeah, that's...
So 1 for 24 for Ava Lee. That doesn't tell you how well she's bowled, I don't think.
No, she's been outstanding.
Good effort. And certainly some ability to work with, you'd think.
Yeah, no, she's been brilliant. She's hardly bowled a bad ball. I mean, she got collared for 2 4s, but they weren't bad balls. Story just chanced her arm there, didn't she?
Returning to ball number 32, Talitha Stanley.
Talitha Stanley She's going to come back in for her third over. She's 1 for 10 off 2 at the moment. Bowled tidily and also dismissed the dangerous Becca Halliday. In she comes. That's whipped by Story. That's a lovely shot.
Just waited for the slow ball.
Yeah.
What a bottom hand in that shot. And I said to a spectator on the way in that, you know, Gloucestershire seem to find about 140 seems to be roughly their ceiling in terms of what they can score. If they got to 140 from here, that would be a respectable response. It wouldn't be a winning one, but it would give them some credit back.
Oh, lovely shot from Melissa Story. That's a textbook off drive. She might be a good commentator, but I tell you what, that would win the ECB's off drive of the year, I think. Not the ECB broadcaster of the year, as she was in 2023.
We've seen some good, one or two really booming off drives today. Becca Halliday played one. Molly,
it's a true wicket.
Yeah.
Ball comes on nicely.
Rachel King played one, and now we've got a long off back as a result of that last shot.
Oh, that's out the back of the hand. That's really well bowled. Oh, it's a wide, actually. But good to see Stanley thinking about it. That was a very slower ball.
Right. I mean, you did joke earlier on about me playing club cricket, which I did do, but I never worked out how to really bowl a slower ball.
And Story goes. She perishes there trying to work one too many through the leg side, and she departs for 22. And a carbon copy of the dismissal of Becca Halliday, actually. Bowled by Stanley, both of them with their stumps akimbo. But a bright and breezy 22 or 15 balls from Melissa Story. And Gloucestershire are 80 for 6. And I think this game, as a contest, is over.
Yeah, looks pretty much to be the case. So Liv Daniels in at number 8. Below her in the order, Katie Dolman, Charlie Phillips and Alice Bird. But a little bit like the Kent game that you and I did at Bristol earlier in the season, where one innings from one player in the opposition just looked to be a step ahead of everything else.
Gloucestershire beat Kent at Canterbury, though, didn't they?
I know.
Yeah.
And they bowled really well that day. But in the chases, the side seemed to have, one player's got away from them.
Stanley. Daniels. Watchful. Pokes this out to mid-off. Skipper playing it to the opposition skipper. Green lurking at mid-off for the Sharks.
You know, a series of 20s might win you one game in a sequence, but it probably wouldn't win you too many others.
It's just turned into the leg side. Do not run a 2 to Harmon. They settle for a single. Daniels off the mark, second ball. What's Ahern got?
She's a worker of the ball from what I've seen of her before, rather than a real hitter.
Well, she's worked that one quite nicely, but only to King at deep square. 83 for 6 at the end of the 13th.
A reminder of the situation with Gloucestershire's men later on today at 4 o'clock. They beat Sussex. They take their chances of qualification into tomorrow. Now, I know it's a complicated mathematical equation, and they have to go to Somerset and win, and 2 other results go their way.
Yeah,
but
they need Middlesex to beat Glamorgan, and they need Essex to beat Kent.
that's right. And they need to beat Somerset.
Yeah, but, you know, they can do that. They did it last year.
Did it twice last year.
Did it 3 times last year.
They did, correct. Sorry. Kiara Green back into the attack. So she's split her spells up today. And Ahern with a single out to mid-wicket, but they'll only get 1. Again, good work in the field from Sussex. Keeps Gloucestershire down to a single. So at the moment, the 2 batters in double figures. Worked by Daniels into the offside. Collins will come round though, get 1 this time to short cover. Yeah, Halliday at the top of the order, and then Jones and Story in the middle order. Getting kind of starts, but not going on. Green, full pitch ball this time. Well, again, want to get 1 up to long on. All this, should only have got 1, but Buckle misfielded.
Shouldn't get 3.
And they go one on the arm. They're going to get 3. That's well run. Buckle thought she was coming in to pick the ball up cleanly, and then when the fumble happened, she almost stopped. And as a result, they weren't able to run 3.
I think it hit her boot.
Around the wicket, Green continues, this time to Daniels.
Still, she
defends.
She's got a better first touch than Emil Heskey used to have, so.
Green around the wicket, and Daniels just plays that with soft hands into the leg side. They'll come back for no second run in the end.
And Marchant de Lange, when they warm up playing football, his first touch also leaves something to be desired.
Green stays around the wicket. And big appeal for LBW, but not from there, I suspect. Umpire White signals the end of the over. Just a 1 dot ball in it, other than the one at its conclusion. 88 for 6 overs to go.
100 needed to win. I think it's immaterial now.
50 would be interesting. But I suspect.
Yeah, it's a dead rubber. I think Middlesex, is it Middlesex and Glamorgan?
Middlesex and Glamorgan are quite a bit clear at the top of this group.
Yeah.
Well, Sussex won the reverse match by 27 runs, so I think at this stage the margin of victory today looks like being more than that. Here's Jazz Wesley back into the attack.
Bowling her off breaks and bowls Daniels. That looked like it turned through the gate, and Wesley, she's a tall, rangy off spinner, and Daniels becomes the 3rd Gloucestershire player to be clean bowled, and she departs for 3, 88 for 7. So and the end is nigh.
Yeah, 4 different Sussex bowlers have wickets now, and you made the point about the unit scenario, and it looks as though everybody can do something in their 11, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. They've got togetherness. Sussex, you can see it. It's evident.
And I think they would have more of a history of producing players than Gloucestershire would in the women's game, and this team, the Gloucestershire team, was effectively assembled from scratch during last winter.
Yeah, and you also have to think that with Gloucestershire only having tier 2 status, they've lost players like Sir Danny Gibson, for instance, gone to Somerset because no doubt England have said you've got to be playing tier 1. That's first ball there. Dolman just pushes it back. You know, Gloucestershire have produced England players. You know, Danny Gibson being one. From Dumbleton, just north of here. As Dolman pushes that up to mid-off to Kiara Green. Yeah, Dumbleton's how far north of here? It's only the Worcestershire border, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit further than you think.
Is it?
Mm.
Nicely driven by Hearn.
I'm trying to think how I would get to Dumbleton from here. If I was driving.
I've done it before. I came from.
It's probably 15 miles, a good 15 miles from here.
And across country.
Mm.
Very pretty part of the world there.
Nice ground at Dairy Lane.
Dolman trying to work that one across the line. I've got a very nice one. I do the Disability Premier League.
That's Tommy Borman's club, obviously, where he
Yeah.
Played, and he played for them in the village final, which they won at Lord's.
Wesley into Dolman, who pushes that to mid-off. In the over 90 for 7 at the end of the 15th. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to do one in the Disability Premier League this year up near Malvern at a place called Colwell Cricket Club.
Yes,
it looks absolutely beautiful.
Is that still ahead of you? You've still got to do that, have you?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
It's nice
early September.
Yeah,
yeah, and I've got one also at Worcester Norton as well in the Disability Premier League, as well as one at Loughborough University.
No, Cole was in Herefordshire, of course.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
It's right in the Malvern Hills, isn't it?
So I thought Cole was technically in Herefordshire.
It might be. It might be.
Anna Buckle's coming back here at Cheltenham, where Sussex look well set to pick up the points, and what would be for them a third win in the competition. So Buckle coming back to bowl the 16th over. Molly Adams standing back for her. Chopped away and found the gap too. Good shot from Mega Hearn, and she'll pick up 4 away to the deep backward point boundary. Well, she played some pleasant shots in that defeat by Kent when she came in late in the innings. But again, it was a similar type of situation to this, where Kent were well on top, and as a result, there was no real pressure on the batter. There's a backward point and a sort of a short third man for Buckle. Too short and clipped in the air by her into the gap. The chase for Rachel King round the boundary. They come back for 2, they will, and they'll get on, they'll make it.
Yeah, B. Willis got 56 that day.
Not out at the end, so, but again, that was a, was it 147 chasing 183, so not a dissimilar kind of card to this one in a way. Similar target. Pleasantly played by Hearn, but Buckle fields off her own bowling. A lot of the Sussex girls field in hats. Kiara Green, I think the one who I can see not wearing a hat at the moment.
Kiara Green.
Buckle right arm over the wicket. That's outside the off stump. I know another wide. lines of Sussex bowled, only 5, so that's pretty good. I think Ava Lee bowled a couple of those before she got her line absolutely right. But they've been good value for this card at the moment. Not just restricting the scoring, they're taking wickets as well, which is obviously the best way to keep the opposition in check.
Oh,
Pleasant shot by Ahern, straight out to Rachel King on the boundary at deep cover. It'll only be 1.
tell you what, Ahern's got something about her.
Yeah, didn't keep wicket today, obviously, with Katie Jones in the team, but she can do.
She was 16.
So
Big future.
this is her highest score of the tournament. 20 not out at the moment. And Katie Dolman to face. Clip straight to the fielder at mid-off. Ahern does the fielding and then it's a bit sloppy from Buckle. She should have picked that up. No overthrows. Just say that I don't know whether Dan was planning to be here for the championship, but are you now? Do I understand that you might be?
I'm doing the PAG. I'm doing your job, Ian.
Buckle in. Oh, that's hit in the air, but I think it's going to drop safe from Ahern. There is no fielder at mid-on. There's a long on, but she's a long way from coming in. Ava Lee, and there's a direct hit at the bowler's end. But they got through to complete the run. 98 for 7 becomes 100 for 7 at the end of the over. 100 up for Gloucestershire with 4 overs to go.
100 at the end of the 16th over.
But Ahern has 20, Dolman has 3, so she's the 3rd Gloucestershire batter to get into the 20s.
Number 14, Kiara Green.
And the Sussex skipper is to come back and bowl out her stint. Lee's finished 4 overs, 1 for 24. None of the other bowlers yet have done so. But this is Wesley.
Ooh, that's down. The leg side. It's going to be a wide. How old does this make you feel? Meg Ahern was born on New Year's Eve 2008. I mean, I just feel geriatric. That's a nice shot from Ahern. We'll get a couple. Product of the Gloucestershire Academy.
As the marquee's beginning to fill up a little bit.
Yeah. The one in front of the chapel with a bar in it. Looks rammed. Ahern Q ends that. They think about 2. They'd be crazy to take on Dolman.
And the hospitality marquee's to the right, the College Lawn end. That's the end where Dolman is facing from. Also now pleasantly full.
Again, he's pulled out to Dolman. They don't take her arm on. Much business being done in Cheltenham today.
Well, it is known as being a town of festivals.
Yeah. Got a horse racing festival in March. Oh, and she's gone. That's a cruel way for Dolman to have to depart. Ahern drills one back to Wesley, who parries it back onto the stumps. And Dolman miles out and becomes the 2nd Gloucestershire player to depart, run out after Katie Jones was also dismissed in a more conventional fashion earlier on.
Yeah, that's if you're run out sort of, I would say back. Yes, you run out backing up without receiving a ball. That's probably the worst way, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's not much. That's not much better.
Life's not fair though, Ian.
52, sponsored by the Kingsham Courtyard.
Charlie Phillips
105 for 8.
joins Mega Hearn.
And Sussex might have thoughts of bowling Gloucestershire out here.
Yeah, Alice Bird still to come. I don't know a lot about her.
Batting wise,
She's 19 years old. She's made 12 runs in 4 appearances. That's whipped again to Harmon. Harmon apologises after every throw. She's been absolutely outstanding out there. She's like holds her hands up to say sorry after every throw that comes in. She's been brilliant in the deep. Last 40 over, 106 for 8. Oh, Phillips. Not so much flirting with that one, but fluttering her eyelids at it and saying, do you come here often?
or annually in the summer here at Cheltenham. And hopefully we're going to be here next year as well. But with the
Rejig of the fixtures.
the great structural debate, frankly, who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, who knows?
So Green
Returning to ball, number 14, Kiara Green.
to bowl her last over, which will be the 18th. Over the wicket and worked away by Ahern for 1. She won't get more than that. Throw bounced in by Jasmine Wesley. Spilled a catch earlier, but really any errors in the field that Sussex have made have not proved too costly for them. And now Charlie Phillips to take strike for the first time. Pleasant shot down the ground. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
She'll-
nice.
Might get a couple. They should do. Oh, Averly's just misfielded it. She's gathered the ball in there. As a result of that, has to turn and throw in, and they'll pick up a couple.
Like my last shopping trip to Lakeside, a couple of expensive errors out there by Averly.
Again, along the ground, but straight to mid-off. No run. How far is that shopping centre from Averley then?
A couple of miles, I
Oh,
think.
really? Not
Thurrock, Averley, it's all sort of same area.
It's all over there somewhere. Blonde head. Green. Again, around the wicket. Phillips will take 1. What's the boundary total in this Gloucestershire innings?
2.5 miles.
Whip for Ahern from around her pads, and she's going to get 4 to deep square. That's a good shot. So 12 boundaries so far in the Gloucestershire reply, and King for Sussex hit 11 on her own. So that really has proved to be the difference you feel between these two teams. Her express start that she gave the Sharks after they won the toss and decided to bat first. Green's finished her stint with the ball. Gloucestershire are 115 for 8, and Green's finished with 2 for 23, and Gloucestershire have 2 overs left, 115 for 8.
Returning to ball, number 32, Talitha Stanley.
2 overs left. Stanley from the Chapel end. Ahern plays this nicely, moves on to 31 with a pleasant on drive.
I wonder how Ahern would find it batting a bit further up in the order.
Yeah, I think she's technically capable.
She's shown enough today batting in a fairly unpressurised situation, really.
That's in the air, and that's a great catch by Harmon, who's been absolutely outstanding all day in the field and had to make a lot of ground. Good hands, and pouches the catch. And Stanley picks up a 3rd wicket. Phillips goes for 3, 116 for 9.
Charlie Phillips was caught by Nancy.
Yes, Sussex's out cricket has been of a good standard today, I think.
Yeah, very
Good to
much
say.
so. From what I saw of the game last night, their out cricket is as good as tier 1 sides. I saw Essex and Lancashire last night, and I think their out cricket is as good as the tier 1 sides. And when you consider tier 1 sides are professional, these guys are amateur. That's a big, big compliment.
Final batter for Gloucestershire, sponsored by the Gloucestershire.
There's a range of ages in the two teams. Gloucestershire generally younger. So Daisy Feast 19, Prathana Reddy's only 17, Meg Ahern's only 16, Liv Daniels is 19.
Who was 17?
Prathana Reddy.
Yeah.
So there's a bit more experience in this Sussex team.
Gloucestershire building something for the future though, aren't they?
So Green, for example, their captain, made her debut in 2010.
Good grief. That's played out to backward point and a better throw. Oh, it's all happening here. They'll scamper through for an overthrow. So basically Meg Ahern was 1 when Kiara Green made her debut.
There we are.
Wowzers. Oh, that's nearly poked back to her by Alice Bird.
Photographers getting ready downstairs for the end of the match, and the photographs of the teams shaking hands. One more smiles on the Sussex side, I'm sure.
Oh my word, that's a monster. Bird has hit that. One bounce for 4. We're talking about number 11s who like to get on with it. She makes you look like Chris Tavares in.
Oh, a very clean hit. And that's
a lovely shot.
The closest we've been to a 6 all day.
Yeah, I think we might see a few this afternoon. That's out the back of the hand. It's been whipped, but oh, they're going to take on Harmon. That could be a crucial, silly mistake, and it is. Bird is run out. Harmon's bullet arm works again. Bird departs for 7. Gloucestershire finish on 123 all out, and Sussex win this game by 64 runs.
And the win was as convincing as that score would tell you. Meg Ahern left 31 not out, with Alice Bird being run out in the 19th over. Wickets shared by the Sussex bowlers, 3 of them to Talitha Stanley. who finishes with 3 for 29. Green 2 for 23. Lee 1 for 24. Wesley 1 for 12. But there were 3 run-outs in there, and Sussex, the better side, and you can't argue with the margin of victory for them today. Rachel King's 48 got them away to a flying start. There was good support down the order from the rest of the Sussex batting. 29 from Harmon, 34 from Adams, 21 from Green, 18 from Wilkinson. So constant contributions, and Gloucestershire had a sticky start. Halliday made 25, but then Jones, Ahern and Story in the middle order all got to double figures, but in a sense the damage had been done early on, and from 30 for 3 at the end of the power play, it was difficult to see Gloucestershire recovering from that.
Yeah, Sussex, their batting was better, their bowling was better, and their fielding was better. And if you get those right, you're in business generally, aren't you? So,
but I think you have to say a good idea to have a double header like this at Cheltenham. You can see by the number of people already in the ground that they will have appreciated having some cricket to watch ahead of what you might say is the main reason they're here today for the match at 4 o'clock against Sussex.
it's the starter before the main course, isn't it? And I'm really looking forward to some haute cuisine, fine dining. Ian and I will be back in an hour for this crucial encounter between Gloucestershire and Sussex. Come and join us then.